Imagine the chilling silence of a foggy California coast in 1977, where a dedicated young female cop, full of promise and passion for justice, vanishes during a routine night patrol. For 13 years, her husband clings to fading hope, tormented by whispers that she simply ran away, abandoning her life and duty. Then, in a twist of fate, a fisherman's shocking discovery at the base of a remote cliff unearths her rusted patrol car from the waves, revealing bloodstains, a bullet casing, and a horrifying truth. She didn't flee, she was murdered, and the cover-up ran deep into the heart of corruption. This is the story of Laura Monroe, a tale of betrayal, resilience, and the unyielding pursuit of truth that teaches us about courage in the face of darkness. Today, in this educational video, we'll dive into her journey not just as a gripping narrative, but as a lesson in English vocabulary, idioms, and timeless wisdom on integrity, perseverance, and moral growth. Let's unravel this mystery step by step, learning how ordinary people can become heroes by standing against systemic evil. In the misty dawn of March 1990, Sergeant Jack Monroe's world shattered anew with a radio call that pierced the quiet of his Pacifica home like a siren's wail. Unit 23. We have a 1054 at Devil's Slide, a possible police vehicle spotted by a fisherman. His heart raced. Devil's Slide was that infamous stretch of Highway 1, where sheer cliffs met the relentless Pacific Ocean, a place of beauty and peril. Jack, a veteran cop with 20 years on the force, froze mid-reach for his toast, the words echoing in his mind. He knew, deep in his bones, this could be connected to his wife, Laura, who had disappeared 13 years earlier during a night shift. Rushing to the scene, he met Detective Marie Estrada, a sharp-minded investigator whose urgency matched his own. As the helicopter lifted the rusted wreck, a 1975 Plymouth Fury, matching Laura's missing patrol car, Jack's memories flooded back. Laura's bright smile in her uniform, her promise to be careful that fateful evening in 1977, the empty bed that haunted him. The forensics team swarmed, uncovering a .40 caliber shell casing and degraded blood traces, turning the site into a crime scene. Here, we encounter vocabulary like shattered, meaning broken into pieces, often used idiomatically for emotional devastation, as in his dreams were shattered, and pierced, to penetrate sharply, like a sound cutting through silence. Philosophically, this chapter draws from historical elements, reminiscent of real-life police corruption scandals like the Rampart scandal in 1990's Los Angeles, where officers covered up crimes, mirroring the emerging hints of departmental betrayal. Jack's emotional development begins with denial turning to grim determination, teaching us the wisdom of facing painful truths rather than burying them. As the story unfolds, Laura's promotion as a young female sergeant in a male-dominated force highlights modern relevance. In today's world, where gender equality in law enforcement is still evolving, her ambition inspires women to break barriers. Universal wisdom here lies in resilience. Jack's refusal to let grief paralyze him echoes Stoic philosophy, like Marcus Aurelius' teachings on enduring loss with purpose. Through English learning, note the idiom deep in his bones, an intuitive certainty, which adds vividness to narratives. As they confronted Supervisor Richard Hensley, whose official concern masked deeper involvement, Jack realized the investigation would test loyalties. The media frenzy added pressure, with reporters probing if Laura was under investigation or murdered, forcing Jack to defend her legacy publicly. This moment of vulnerability fosters his growth from grieving husband to active seeker of justice, blending historical coastal California lore, where Devil's Slide has claimed many lives in real accidents, with philosophical musings on trust in institutions. Modern ties to English learning come through analyzing dialogue. Hensley's evasive, "let's not jump to conclusions," exemplifies hedging language, a tactic in debates or investigations to avoid commitment. As Jack reviewed old files at home, spotting anomalies like the Ensign log by Deputy Carl Bowen, his isolation mirrored the solitude of truth seekers throughout history, from whistleblowers like Serpico in 1970s NYPD corruption to modern activists. Emotionally, Jack grapples with betrayal, learning that true strength comes from questioning authority. The chapter builds tension as Jack encounters Carl on Highway 1, a coincidence that sparks suspicion, weaving in vivid details like the scrub brush bending in the wind, evoking sensory immersion. Philosophically, it teaches that corruption thrives in silence, drawing from Aristotle's ethics on virtue in community. As they uncovered a hidden witness statement about a white van, the puzzle pieces aligned, symbolizing how persistence reveals hidden truths. This inspires personal growth. In our lives, facing disappeared dreams requires digging deep. Ending with Belinda Carlson's conflicting statements, exposed by Marie's diligence, we see emotional arcs converge. Fear versus courage. What if the truths we bury today resurface tomorrow? How can embracing honesty now foster your own resilience and integrity? As shadows lengthened over the Pacifica police station, Jack overheard Richard's frantic phone call. The car came up. "Your job, move now," igniting a fire of suspicion that burned away years of blind trust. This pivotal moment, rich with dramatic irony, a literary device where the audience knows more than the character, here foreshadowing Richard's guilt, propels Jack's emotional journey from passive mourner to proactive avenger. Drawing on historical parallels, this echoes the 1970s era of post-Watergate distrust in authority, when scandals like the Knapp Commission exposed widespread police corruption in New York, similar to the emerging rot in Pacifica PD. Vocabulary lesson: igniting, to set on fire, metaphorically sparking action, as in igniting a revolution, and idiom, burned away, destroyed completely, like illusions vanishing. Marie's discovery of misfiled documents, a witness statement hidden in an unrelated burglary file, reveals Belinda's original account of seeing Laura pull over a white van near Devil's Slide, later altered under pressure. This philosophical teaching underscores the Socratic method of questioning assumptions, urging viewers to seek truth amid deception. Modern relevance ties to English learning, dissecting frantic, wildly excited with fear, enhances descriptive writing. While the story's universal wisdom on moral courage inspires those facing workplace ethics dilemmas today, like whistleblowing in corporate scandals akin to Enron. Jack and Marie's visit to Belinda's modest home, interrupted by witnessing Richard's payoff envelope of $3,000, exposes the human cost of silence, Belinda's lost ranger job, financial struggles, and guilt over her complicity. Her tearful confession details the night, spotting the van, hearing a scream in San Pedro Valley Park during a clandestine meeting with her husband, then seeing the van leave later. Emotionally, Belinda's arc from fearful silence to reluctant truth-teller mirrors Jack's, teaching empathy for those trapped in systemic webs. Vivid character moments abound: Belinda's red-rimmed eyes, the oil-stained driveway symbolizing her fallen dreams, and her bitter laugh at the truth after 13 years. Philosophically, this draws from Kant's categorical imperative: act only according to maxims you can will to be universal, questioning if bribery and cover-ups could ever be justified. As they race to the park, spotting Richard and Carl digging up remains, the tension peaks with overheard dialogue. The body's been in the ground for 13 years. If they confirm the blood, we're finished. Historical tie-in: San Pedro Valley's real redwood groves and trails evoke California's environmental history, where parks have hidden dark secrets, like unsolved disappearances in national forests. Jack's restraint in not confronting them immediately shows growth, prioritizing evidence over rage, a lesson in strategic patience from Sun Tzu's Art of War. Following Carl to Sharp Park Water Treatment Facility, they witness him burying the bones, taking a finger as a trophy, a gruesome detail highlighting depravity, then entering a meth lab for drugs and trafficking young women. This uncovers the business partners, a cartel using the facility for production and exploitation, protected by corrupt cops. Emotional development surges as Jack fights nausea, realizing Laura's death stemmed from a routine stop interrupting a shipment. Universal wisdom: evil flourishes when good people do nothing, per Edmund Burke, urging viewers to speak up in their communities. English learning: idioms like in broad daylight, openly, without hiding, add flair to storytelling. The Raid, with sirens blaring and tactical teams breaching, rescues victims, whose Spanish testimonies reveal monthly rewards of girls to complicit officers. Jack's recovery of Laura's remains, including her engraved pendant, Jack and Laura Forever, triggers cathartic tears, marking his emotional climax from loss to closure. Modern relevance. This connects to ongoing fights against human trafficking, like operations by organizations such as Polaris, teaching advocacy through English advocacy writing. As Belinda agrees to testify, the web unravels, philosophically affirming that justice, though delayed, is inevitable. What shadows in your own life might you confront today to ignite personal transformation and uphold universal truths? With the weight of revelation pressing like ocean waves on Devil's Slide, Jack and Marie stormed back to the station, where Richard's interrogation cracked open the floodgates of confession, drowning the department in a torrent of exposed corruption. This metaphor, floodgates, gates that control water flow, idiomatically meaning unleashing something pent up, captures the narrative's turning point, where truth surges forth. Historically, this resonates with the 1990 Mullen Commission in New York, investigating police drug involvement, paralleling the meth operation scale. Vocabulary: torrent, a fast-flowing stream, figuratively an outpouring. Richard's breakdown reveals the 1977 night, Laura's stop of the van carrying meth, the driver's panic shot, then Richard and Carl's arrival to handle, Richard firing the fatal bullet with her gun, burying her in the park, and dumping the car. Emotional depth. Richard's weary, "I'm tired of looking over my shoulder," humanizes even the villain, teaching nuanced views on redemption, per restorative justice philosophies. Names spill out. Half the department implicated in drugs, bribes, and trafficking, shattering Jack's worldview, but fostering growth through disillusionment to renewed purpose. Philosophical teaching, Nietzsche's Stare into the Abyss, warns that fighting monsters risks becoming one, yet Jack's integrity prevails. Modern relevance to English. Analyzing confession dialogue hones listening skills, with idioms like cracked open, forced to reveal. Vivid moments. Richard's labored breathing, the tape recorder's hum, echo interrogation tropes, while victims care at the hospital, women sharing abuse stories, highlights empathy's healing power. Universal wisdom. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, but moving forward, as Jack embraces Belinda, acknowledging her coerced silence. In the evidence room, identifying Laura's pendant triggers Jack's grief release, a cathartic arc symbolizing closure. The separate finger bone from Carl's pocket underscores depravity, tying to historical serial killer cases like the Zodiac in California, adding thriller elements. As internal affairs arrives, the department's purge begins, philosophically echoing Plato's Republic on just societies requiring vigilant guardians. Jack's reflection on betrayed oaths inspires viewers. Badges symbolize trust, but true honor is internal. English learning. Descriptive phrases like weight pressing like ocean waves enhance poetic expression. The story's modern tie. An era of body cams and #MeToo, Laura's gender barriers resonate, teaching advocacy for equality. Belinda's full statement cements the case, her courage a beacon for silenced voices. As trials loom, Jack finds solace in saved lives, affirming that one person's stand can dismantle empires of evil. What abyss in your world calls for your gaze, and how might staring back with courage redefine your path to wisdom and growth? In the aftermath's quiet dawn, as Pacifica's fog lifted like veils of deception, Jack stood at Devil's Slide, pendant in hand, honoring Laura's memory amid crashing waves, a symbol of enduring love and justice reclaimed. This resolution, with veils, thin coverings, metaphorically illusions, wraps the narrative in hope, drawing from historical coastal resilience, like California's gold rush survivors rebuilding after betrayal. Vocabulary. Aftermath. Consequences following an event. Emotional closure. Jack's transformation from tormented widower to reformed guardian embodies growth through adversity. Philosophical. Heraclitus. No man steps in the same river twice. Teaches change's inevitability, urging adaptation. Modern English learning, reflective monologues build narrative skills, with idioms like lifted like veils for symbolism. Universal wisdom. Truth surfaces eventually, inspiring persistence in personal quests, whether career shifts or relationships. The departments rebuild, with clean officers rising, mirrors real reforms post-scandals like Ferguson, promoting accountability. Jack's final words to Marie, "It needs to be torn apart, rebuilt clean," echo rebuilding metaphors, fostering viewer reflection on societal renewal. As victims heal, their stories amplify the tale's impact, teaching compassion's role in justice. What veils of illusion might you lift in your life to embrace change and forge a legacy of unyielding truth?